everyone, welcome to Bun in the Oven, episode 2. This is week 13 of my pregnancy. We found out we're having a girl this week, so we couldn't be more excited. We're going to be making pita bread today. So I'm going to get started. My ingredients for just the first part, we're going to make a quick sponge, are a cup of flour, 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast, and a cup of warm water. So put the yeast in first, and then the warm water. Just make sure your water is not boiling. You don't want to kill the yeast as you put it in. And then I need a dough hook. This is just a measured cup of flour. I'm going to put it in all at once. And then turn it on medium or low just to incorporate. It should soak up all of the water. I'll grab a spatula just in case. Might be easier just to stir with a spatula since it's so low in the bowl. It smells yeasty. It's like sweet and a little like sour, I think. I think it just needs to be stirred with this. Alright, and then we're just going to let that sit for 15 minutes and we'll be back. It should be frothing or bubbling, maybe not frothing by then, so we'll see how it does in 15 minutes. So it's been 15 minutes. I'm about to add some olive oil, the salt, and the rest of the flour, which should be all of our ingredients, and then we just have some waiting and some rolling to do. So 1.5 tablespoons of olive oil, and then 1 3/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to try to disperse it like that a little bit, yeah. And then we're going to turn this back on to mix that in. And slowly add the rest of your flour. It says that you can keep 1/4 cup to see if you need it at the end. You may not need it, so I'm going to just put most of this in and see if I need the rest. This recipe says that this is also a good pizza dough. There might be a bit of a variation. But it looks like pizza dough when it's done too. So you can try this and use it as a pizza dough. Already come away from the sides. It still looks a little sticky, but I still have at least a cup of flour left. Yeah, it's still sticky. I'm gonna scrape down the sides a bit and see if that helps. It's still pretty wet. I'm glad to see that. There's still plenty of room to go in adding this flour. Seems like there's so much flour. Do the Mollie cam a little bit. Different angle on this. I think it's still pretty sticky. There's some shagginess on the bottom, but the dough itself still seems to be absorbing. I wish I knew if this was looking correct, because I don't. Maybe I'll let it go a little longer. That's how much flour I have left. It's probably under 1/2 cup. So maybe it's about right. Maybe I'm gonna probably stop adding flour at this point. I was expecting it to be take more of the flour a little easier, but I think this is gonna be okay. And now we have to let it knead. Maybe I'll add a little bit more. It's still pretty sticky. Now I have to let it knead for 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna stop now with the flour. Don't want to get overzealous when it looks almost right now. Yeah, I think it'll be good. I think it'll come together. That little ball of dough that was rolling off of it, did you get that? That's why they come with a lock, but mine unlocks, so don't really know what the point is. There it is, that dough. Did you see that? That's so cool.
So?
Yeah, and then it reincorporates, yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Sometimes. I think that's good. I'm not positive, but I think that's good. I think that fact that we're hearing the mixer go through different stages of working hard is a good thing. I think that means the dough is still developing here, and I didn't add too much flour. See? Ooh, see? I don't know, maybe that's the nature of a dough hook. Oh boy, did you see that? It came off. Now it's like being pummeled around by the dough hook. Off of the hook. That's great. It's so mesmerizing to watch. I just love watching it go. Alright, it's been about 5 minutes, so I'm going to stop the dough hook from kneading it anymore and put a little oil in this bowl. And we're going to let it rise for 2 hours. Take it off here. Slip it off like a garter. I'm trying to get these two pieces together. Oh, it feels good. I'm glad. I was a little worried for a second, but it feels exactly how he said it would feel. I'm glad I didn't add any more flour. Okay, where's that oil? Just like a little bit of a drop, and then we're gonna roll it around a little bit to coat it. I'm going to shape it just so we get that nice poofed rise, but I don't think it really is necessary. It just looks pretty. Okay, I've oiled that bowl. We're going to leave the dough for 2 hours, let it rise, and then we will come back and cut it into 8. So 2 hours here. You can cover it. I'm going to cover it with plastic wrap. I hope that you can cut that together. Should I try it again?
We'll see what we can do.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. And we're going to leave it to rest and rise for 2 hours. Alright, it's been about 2 hours since we started rising the dough, so it's about done. It looks like it's about probably doubled or tripled in size. It looks like it has a lot of volume. I'll show you guys what I mean if I can get it out. Okay, and then we're gonna dump it onto the surface. Ooh boy, it's coming out well. Kinda, let's see. Had to help it a little bit. That's alright. Looks good. Alright, I'm just going to tip it over and to get a little flour on that side. And then I'm going to flatten it out. And I'm going to be doing more counting in this episode, so everybody stay tuned. See if we get 8 out of this. That's what we're supposed to get. It feels great. I love the way this feels. Now I want to try to get equal pieces, so I'm just going to try to do one in equal pieces and then mimic it on the top one. Pretty happy with that. I'm just gonna try to do something similar up here. These ones are a little worse, but that's okay. Okay, then we're just gonna ball them up, much like the dinner rolls. Definitely feels like pizza dough. I could probably use this as a pizza dough recipe. Size issues again, that's okay. At least in this one, the recipe doesn't say to measure them. This one says to do it this way. Okay, now that we have our 8 balls, we are gonna move them to this surface over here where I'm going to work with them in about 30 minutes after they rise and flatten them out into 1/4-inch thick discs before we grill them after a quick rest. I'll cover them with plastic. Okay. Alright, we're back. It's been about 30 minutes, so these guys should be ready to flatten out and start to cook. So I'm just going to do it one by one. I've got a little flour here. And I've got my rolling pin. Get a little bit more flour. There we go. That should help. So we're looking for a 1/4-inch thickness. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Now we're gonna let that one rest for 5 minutes. And then we're gonna start cooking that, and while we cook that for 6 minutes we're gonna roll out the rest of them. Okay, we're gonna start heating up our pan before that one goes on. First I'm going to get a little bit of olive oil in the pan and rub it around with this paper towel so it's not too thick in any one area. Now I'm gonna turn it on to medium-high heat and let it heat up. We want the skillet to be really hot when that goes on. I'm excited, I hope it poofs the way it's supposed to poof. Okay, I think I'm ready to put my first pita on. So we're gonna do 3 minutes on the first side, flip it and see how it looks, and then probably 3 minutes on the next side. Oh boy. I'm excited. All the reviews online said it was really easy and they came out the way it said it would, so I'm excited. Oh yeah, I've got to roll these guys out. Oof. Just the next one. Don't have to worry too much. Okay. Next one rolled out, and you can see how this goes. Roll, rest, cook, while you rest the other one. Oh, this is too much. I want to be done already. I want to see. Ooh, I see some little bubbles. Do you see the bubbles? Mm-hmm. You can't really distinguish them yet. It's like bubbles. They just look like risen spots. Hey! We'll see. I think it's a little thick, so we might have to cook it a little longer. But I like it. So far, so good. I think it's poofed up quite a bit. I'm gonna check the other side. I'll probably flip it back over again. Look at that. That looks like a pita bread. I'm into it. Okay, I'm gonna roll out my last one. I'm happy to say it's getting hot and smoky in here. look like pita breads. I'm getting the hang of it. Just like pancakes. Just like pancakes. First few look all janky, and then all of a sudden, like 2 or 3 in, you can make a perfect pancake. All right. I think this was a much bigger success than the dinner rolls. I'm so happy. Even though we haven't even cut into them, I know they're cooked at least. We can actually eat bread for the next few days. Yay! I'm so happy. Take this one off. Perfect. Turn off the stove. Boom. That's a wrap, folks. Here's the test. Edible bread or disgusting slop? Knife is not apparently very sharp. There we go. Hey, I think I see a pocket. Not a great one, but a pocket. Look at that. It's a pocket. Let's see this side. There's a pocket trying to be there. That's great. Like a tiny little, like, kebab taco. That's great. I'm happy with that. Here you go, Daniel. Mmm. I'm happy with that.
That's good.
It's good.
That's really good.
The hardest part about that was just the heat of the grilling.
Yeah,
It wasn't a hard recipe at all.
Yeah.